Hello, my name is Ashtray Bentley. Today I wanted to share with you some house serum patches. So these ones are all pretty unique and you can make all kinds of different songs with these. They're not geared towards any specific subgenre. So I have a couple plucks, a pad, keys, and a bass patch. So let's get into it. I have this simple chord progression that's going to be demonstrating them all. We're just going to start off with this pluck patch right here. So kind of like a acid house sort of pluck thing. What I have going on is this triangle oscillator in A and then B, both being down an octave, not super relevant. And then I have B being frequency modulated into A and a little bit of pulse width modulation going on. I also have the envelope in this sort of pluck fashion here, and that's being routed to the level and the cutoff. As you can see, level cutoff right here. And then also I have it modulated to the distortion here. So then it kind of is just going to add that, like, because, you know, distortion adds higher frequencies in there. And so when I put the envelope and route it to the mix on it, it's just going to add those frequencies right at the top of the pluck, and it's going to make it pop a little more. You know what I mean? And then I have the soft clip going on there. You can kind of hear it better with the hard clip. But I didn't want that much, so I went soft. And then on top of that, I have chorus to add a little bit of width in the stereo field. At around 24, and then reverb and some compression. Now for the reverb and compression, I put compression on everything just to make it sound better. Yeah, so that's a really simple sound. Not much going on with that one. On to the next one. I have another pluck. This one's a little more fun. It's like metallic. So I have more FM and I have it almost at 50%. Now I notice with frequency modulation, something cool happens when you have it at 50%. Now in like a physics sort of way, I couldn't explain to you what's going on, but it's fun to exploit the harmonics that go on around 50%. It almost sounds like a fifth. I have B frequency modulated into A, and that's a saw, and this one is up an octave. And yeah, so I have that up an octave, and then I have just the same pluck shape here, and I have this routed to the level of each one, so it kind of adds that pluck shape, and we're using both of them. Both the oscillators are going to be producing the sound. Probably want more of this one. And then I have the filter just routed to the envelope too, the cutoff and the filter. Kind of produce that pluck sound. If you want it tighter, pull back that cutoff. So I have this little macro here for that. And then what's kind of producing the whole sound, the metallic sound here, is this comb filter. So that's like the resonance of the comb filters really making it sound super metallic. So I'm using comb H6 plus under flanges. Now I also have the resonance up super high, and for this particular one, 184 hertz. I chose that because it's kind of resonating in a really pleasing sounding way. I think it's relative to the key that I'm in and the chords I'm in. Just kind of pick whatever sort of frequency sounds best for you. And then I drop the mix down around 50% or else it's just too much. So we still maintain that plucky sound. You can kind of destroy the attack having it too high. And then I have a little bit of reverb and compression just to make it sound nicer. Also, I thought this sound was a good candidate for one of my favorite plugins, Crystallizer. On to the next one, I have this pad. So this one's a lot more Boards of Canada, if you ask me. Same thing going on with the frequency modulation. I have it around 50%. So I have this sine that's being modulated by a triangle. And also I'm doing something really important here. I have these two LFOs going on. Now the first LFO is routed to the wavetable position, and what that is doing is it's kind of slowly undulating the waveform, and I think it adds this cool sort of pitchy, like a pitchy sort of sound to it. And if I look at it in here, it looks like wavetable 1 is also on the pan, just kind of going left and right, adding some more stereo field stuff going on. And then it's also on the fine tune. So I also have wavetable 2 on all the fine tuners. It just kind of adds a more organic sound when things are a little bit out of tune. I just make this kind of arbitrary, weird, abstract shape in the LFO, just kind of slowly going up and down, and then I have it at like just some random hertz. So I also, over here in the envelope, I have that, just a very simple pad sort of key shape. Have that mapped to the volume on oscillator A, volume on oscillator B is down completely. We only want it for the frequency modulation. And then I have the envelope on the filter to kind of control it a little bit, control those highs. Kind of more going on in the effects section on this one. I have some hyperdimension, just to kind of add a little bit of, I don't know, flavor to it, I guess. And then I have a little bit of distortion, really not much here. Could probably serve to do the same thing we did with the plugs. Just to add a little bit of noise, but also we could just go in here and add noise here if you want. Kind of clean it up a bit if you did that, probably. A little bit of chorus for some width. Delay is super quiet. I'm gonna be honest. This preset I made a really long time ago. I just really like it, so I wanted to share it with you today. And I can kind of see I did a couple of really quiet, arbitrary changes in the effects section. You could honestly do without the distortion and delay here. Okay, no, actually now I see they're actually doing something kind of nice here. Delay isn't really doing that much. And then I just have the reverb and compression just to make it sound kind of nicer. But yeah, I love that sound a ton. And then I, on the next one, have these keys. Kind of like this wubby sort of maybe dead mouse type sound. What's kind of important to this one is I have this wavetable here, basic CJW. It has this almost square retro sounding flavor to it, and then I have this just saw right here. And then what I'm doing is I'm having the detuned mapped to the first envelope to kind of get that width on each pump of the wub. And then I have the envelope mapped to the filter, both oscillators turned on. Also, I have the envelope mapped to the wavetable, so we can kind of get this cool movement as we're playing the pad. Also, I have the little bit of chorus for width, a little bit of delay to add that cool spacey thing. You can go ping pong if you want. And then I have a little bit of compression, just make it louder. And then final patch is this bass for more maybe aggressive styles of house, bass house and stuff like that. So I have this digital waveform that came with Serum. ICANN has kick. It's like this. Honestly, it looks really cool right here. It's like it's pretty much just a kick if I cycle through. It has a really cool sound to it, like distorted sound transient thing. When I have oscillator B frequency modulated into it, I have this sort of saw sound 2 octaves up, frequency modulated in, makes this cool aggressive bass house wub, you know. And then we have hyperdimension to add some cool flavor, a little bit of distortion. Now the distortion is pretty important. We want a little bit of grit in there, right? And then I do not have any delay on. And then some reverb to add some space, because otherwise it'd be pretty dry without. And then we have this EQ. So this EQ is adding a lot of that mouthiness to it. It's also like sort of attenuating certain frequencies there to make it a little bit more punchy. So I have this sort of peak filter. So right, with each one, this one kind of like cutting the mids and boosting them right at the peak there, similar to what, you know, we're doing with the plucks and the distortion. We just want things to pop more. So I have the envelope, the LFO kind of acting like an envelope here for whatever reason. I have it on trigger mode. And then mapped that to the EQ here. The gain, just kind of shape this up to kind of add this mouthy sort of sound. I also have the LFO, but effectively envelope on the distortion, and out here I have it on the wavetable, so we get that cool sound. I don't have anything going on here, no sub going on, and then I also have the LFO mapped to the filter here to kind of keep it open or closed. Otherwise it's ridiculous sounding. So yeah, that's that patch. Those are my patches for house music. Honestly, you can make whatever with it. So hopefully that was helpful, and Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next.